Hello, this is something that I talk about all the time in my readings, so I'm glad that we can finally make a video about this so I don't have to necessarily repeat myself all the time. I don't mind, it's part of my job as a teacher. But yes, so I've been studying astrology for about almost 8 years now, and for about 5 of those years I've used the equal house system, this past 5, because I find that in understanding how our solar system functions, the equal house system to me is the only house system that really makes sense and is the most accurate. So this is going to be a little bit abstract, be a little bit abstract. So a little bit of patience is important, and it's okay if you don't quite get it right away. I struggled with this for a good probably a year trying to figure out what house system was most accurate and why, how our solar system function, etc. So it's okay if you don't quite get it, but for those who want to further their knowledge of astrology and also of astronomy, of how our solar system functions, this video is going to be very important. So, especially if you're an enthusiast about charts and you want to be able to read them accurately. So this behind me is a pictograph of our solar system, just as every natal chart is. So what is this exactly? How is this oriented? This is the horizontal plane, also known as the ecliptic of our solar system. The ecliptic is, like I said, the horizontal plane of our solar system. You got the sun in the center, and you have all the different astronomical bodies represented by these symbols right here, orbiting around the sun on this horizontal plane. Now, Pluto's a little bit strange. It does a little bit more like that. And again, it brings into question whether astronomically it's accurate to utilize Pluto as a frame of reference for astrological interpretation and understanding. But it is very interesting too. But that's a whole other topic. It's very interesting, to utilize Pluto because it is. But again, a whole other topic. So, the equal house system. The reason that I find this house system to be the most accurate is because based off of this knowledge of the Earth, all these different astronomical bodies functioning with their orbits on the ecliptic, ultimately it doesn't matter that the Earth is tilted 23.5 degrees, for example, in relation to this horizontal plane. We're still measuring this relationship of our Earth to this ecliptic, to this horizontal plane. And so whether you're born at this pole, that pole, somewhere in the center, like all of us inevitably are, it doesn't actually change the fact that we're measuring horizontally around the celestial equator of the Earth, also known as the midsection in relation to this ecliptic. And so the Placidus, for example, that most people use and they haven't really thought about why, for example, or so many other house systems, utilize all of these mathematical calculations, which ultimately to me seem superfluous because at the end of the day, again, regardless of our tilt on our axis in relation to this ecliptic, we're still measuring these astronomical bodies, whether it's Mars or Venus, Mercury, etc., in relation to this ecliptic. And so it really doesn't matter where you are on the Earth. That's the biggest reason of why I use this system, but also I utilize it because it measures the different houses just like we measure all these different energies. It's consistent with this zodiacal wheel right here, 30 degrees for each of the 12 different energies to form 360 degrees horizontally. Now, why it is that the first house is Aries, second house is Taurus, etc. That does make sense because it follows the wheel of the zodiac. But why it is that that particular house is that, I don't know. That's something I'm trying to figure out myself and happen. But in any case, that is why I find the equal house system to be the most accurate. If you have any questions, if I didn't explain anything quite clearly, please feel free. Again, let's sum it up. The ecliptic, the horizontal plane of the solar system. Our planet, 23.5 degrees. By the way, quick thing that will be helpful to keep in mind. The reason that there is so much confusion a couple years ago about the 13 signs thing was because of the precession of the equinoxes and because we were tilted 23.5 degrees. Because not only are we tilted at this 23.5 degrees in relation to the ecliptic, but we're also wobbling like a top every about 22,000 years. Our planet is wobbling like that. And so just inevitably our perspective shifts of all of the different stars and space around us in the universe, especially over a long period of time. But that doesn't actually change how our own solar system functions. Our own solar system has functioned for who knows how long. Our solar system is like, I think, 4.2 or so billion years old, and human history goes back as far as we can measure, I believe, about 150,000 years, 100,000 years, something like that. I'm not an anthropologist, so you have to check those numbers. But a long fucking time, basically, and certainly for all recordable human history for the last couple of millennia. Hence why Stonehenge still functions, and so many other ancient astronomical calendars still function, because we're still in this frame of reference, this solar system, and we're still being impacted by our revolution around the sun regularly with the equinoxes and the solstices and whatnot. Again, a whole other conversation, but yes, we're on the ecliptic. We're measuring these astronomical bodies in relation to the ecliptic. It doesn't matter where you're born exactly on the planet. It's still in regards to this ecliptic. So I hope that explains it. I hope that's helpful. Not only for the astronomical reasons, which of course is the most important to me as a social scientist, but also for the interpersonal reasons. I find that the equal house system has served me so much better in understanding the different transits, and understanding people's charts and helping people with their charts. It's not a huge shift from the Placidus to the equal, but it's nice to know that it's completely airtight, logically, consistently sound of why we utilize this particular system of measurement rather than another. And for those who aren't familiar with astrological transits, this is closely related, so I'll just go into that real quick. The astrological transits are where the energies are at any given time. So this is a pictograph. I have Sun in the region of space known as Gemini, region of space known as Leo, got a lot of energies, got Moon in the region of space known as Cancer, etc. But right now, for example, we have a new moon, just at the making of this video. Sun, Mercury, and Moon actually are all in Gemini, or rather the region of space known as Gemini, because it's not about the constellations, about, again, the regions of space on this ecliptic. And so the study of transits and hence why it's really important to know the equal house system, is the study of the astronomical bodies for you in particular. So you take your chart in the center, and then you take the transits, put them around them. That's a more complicated realm of study in astrology. If you're interested, of course, feel free. I'll be happy to discuss that with you. I do readings all the time. In the About section of this video is the link for the readings, and we can schedule that for ASAP. If you want to know more about the technical stuff, or if you just want to know more about your chart and whatnot, I do all of the above. Awesome. Infinite love to you, my friends. Namaste.